What's up, family? I'm Juan Castillo, and when I'm on social media, my favorite show to watch is the Don't Shoot the Messenger weekly podcast. Chris G, Professional Sutton, Rucker Report delivers sports the way it's supposed to be, real and authentic. So get ready to be entertained. My boys are ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, the Rucker Report, a.k.a. Jerry.
Ready? This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished.
This is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
X about me, X about me.
With Professional Sutton.
You already know.
Chris G.
My homie.
And the Rucker Report.
My family, what up?
They for real.
All straight with no chaser.
Let the games begin.
Let's go. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Oh, yeah, I'm starting off early tonight. Welcome to another edition of Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, the Rucker Report, Jersey.
Before we begin, we definitely got to thank our sponsors at 94.3 WIBC.
The rhythm of the city.
Also, we got to thank our other sponsor, Inspire Rentals. Just get your rentals. Your porta potty. I know it's getting a little cold, but still, we got support. But I just listen. If you don't know, this is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast again. I got my Laker purple up. I'm acting a whole ass today. I'm acting up today. Just know that. So I'm just gonna jump straight into it. Clippers blow 3-1 lead. I'm just saying. I love it. First of all, shouts out to Aaron Bad Luck Chuck Fleming. I said Aaron Fleming is bad luck. That dude is so bad luck, it's not even funny. That dude swore the Clippers was coming to whoop everybody's ass because they was going to make room to beat the Lakers' ass. Well, guess what? Bad luck Chuck, a.k.a. Aaron Fleming. How you feeling now, buddy? And Chris, you can't see, but Kim is in the building. She gave me that OH.
Ayo.
Yes, my ladies in the building. Myra, gang bang.
Hey.
Baby.
Gang. Gang.
So, I'm so happy right now, fellas. Hold on. I got the sound effects today. You know what I'm saying? I'm acting up tonight because so many people are already making excuses.
No excuses.
So many people. Amos Williams. Let me see if I could tag my mans in here, man. Let me see if I can tag him in here. Let me see. I can't tag him in this one, but he already said it don't count. We got Pooh in the building. We got Chris in the building. What's good? He said it don't matter because they didn't have home court advantage. And then he also said, yes, Chris. Yes, listen, Chris. Listen. Hardcore New York. He also said that it didn't matter because it's a shortened season. And then he said it don't matter because KD got hurt.
Oh, stop it.
Hold on.
This is all from one person?
Yeah. So then he said also it don't count because Kyrie wasn't there. You know? And then he also said it don't matter because Clay was hurt, so it didn't matter either. Yes.
Come on, sir. You making that up, man.
Fam, I wish I was. I'm going to find it. Matter of fact, because we had
Who said that, though?
He said, hold on, Amos. Yeah, shouts out to Amos Williams. You know Amos, he good dude from down in Georgia. Hold on, I gotta find this. I gotta find this, man. I have to find this. Yes. Because that's what he said, yo. That's what he said. I'm not making this up, fellas. I really wish I was making this up. I'm finding this comment here that somebody told me why it won't matter. And I keep telling people, listen, the Lakers didn't win anything. So we can't even be talking about that right now.
Oh, well, the excuse train, I got to give Nick Wright a little bit of credit.
Okay.
He said, once it looked like the Lakers was in trouble during the bubble, everybody started throwing that whole asterisk thing out the window.
Yeah.
Because nobody was like, well, Lakers and LeBron ain't going to win it, so, it ain't going to be an asterisk. Now that all the heavy favorites is gone all of a sudden, except for LeBron, now all of a sudden this season don't count. I don't want to hear that.
Hold on.
I don't want to hear that.
Let me tell you what he said. I'm going to read his comment, people. Just bear with me. TC was good. Amos Williams. Shouts out to Amos Williams. I'm gonna tag him in here. He said, so these are all his comments. He said, let me get close. I'm acting up today, man. Because
totally different.
Listen, man. Listen. I just have to. So Amos Williams said, he says exactly. Pandemic shortened season, no KD, no Kyrie, Curry, or Thompson. Asterisk. So I said, here we go. He said, plus, if the game was at the Staples Center last night, no way in hell the Nuggets would have won. I said, if was the fifth, we'll all be drunk, right? So, hey Nick, I got you. When we talk about the Big Ten, listen. I got you. My man Larry Love in the building. He said, yep. He said, but this was not a normal basketball season. That home court advantage does matter. So therefore, the winner of the 2020 NBA season will be paper champions in the book.
Let me tell you something. You know what I wish? You know what sound I wish you had?
Hold on, wait.
No,
Go ahead.
I wish you had the sound from Hot 97 when they just say, F out of here. Because that's how I feel about everything you're saying right now.
Hold on, wait.
Yo, Amos, don't ever play yourself.
Hold on. Let me read you this longer paragraph. Bear with me. Larry Love, I'm reading all the excuses from one person who's telling me why there is an asterisk next to the champions of this coming season. He said, okay, if the 2013 finals game 6 was in San Antonio, you actually think the Spurs would have lost? Or what about the 94 finals between the Knicks and the Rockets? You honestly think that the Knicks would have lost a game 7 in Madison Square Garden? And I know damn well you don't honestly think that the Celtics would have beaten the Lakers in game 7 at a Forum in 1984. Stop it.
But hold on though. Here's my thing. It's not like they was playing in Denver. It's not like they were going against home advantage. It was equal footing for everybody. So you not getting the cheers and you not getting the boos. Who? That's all you gotta do.
Hambone said, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. Yo, listen, when I say I'm hearing all these excuses, right? I'm hearing all these excuses. Every time, like you said, Chris, when it's LeBron involved, we hear so many excuses. Now I'm hearing people say, oh, LeBron got it easy again. How? How does he have it easy? Like, what do you...
he don't. No, he don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand what people are saying. Like, LeBron got it easy. Did you not see the Nuggets come back 3-1 in 2 series? I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Did you not see what Panic Pete and Goodbye Leonard did last night? Okay.
He said Panic Pete.
Did you not see that?
Yo, Chris, he don't know about playoff P, huh?
Nah.
Yeah.
You don't either.
You know what I know about playoff P? Ball game. That's what I know about. That Gator, we all know that Gatorade commercial was fake.
So I want to jump into it because Nick, he always beats us to the punch, like always, man. Smart brother. And I'm gonna get to some of these comments. We got Anthony. He said, AKA Pooh, he said we owe Tracy McGrady an apology now. Clearly, it wasn't his fault. We'll get to that. So who do y'all think it is to blame? Hambone said, nah, T-Mac is trash. Who is to blame this whole debacle here? Because, I mean, we can blame Doc Rivers.
No.
And we can blame the players.
Yeah.
I want y'all to finish this off. But before I start, okay? somebody in one of my groups, Sports OT, shouts out to Sports OT. They said that Doc Rivers is the Marvin Lewis of NBA. I said no.
Oh, all right.
That's not true.
No.
Stop it.
That's not true. That moniker belongs to Mike D'Antoni. But anyway, somebody
No, that's not true neither. Marvin, as much as I've capped for Marvin couldn't win a playoff game, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Doc is still a champ, and D'Antoni has gotten to the conference final. Now, that's about far as he can get, but he done got to the conference final. So they won series and playoff games. They not Marvin Lewis. Let's not go there. Let's not do that.
Handbone said his name is Playoff PP.
Be playing like.
Yo, listen, man, listen. It's getting wilder here, but I love it though. I love it. Now, who, Ruck, man? You know, is it coaching? Is it the players? What you got for me, good brother?
Listen, I'm a still list. I'm a still list from my good brother Chris G. I'm a still list from the Brody, aka Russ Westbrook. Pat Beverly got your fool. Pat Beverly got your fool.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen.
Running around doing that nonsense, and Pat Beverly got your fool. Now, the other thing that I found that was really, really interesting was that there was reports that came out today that in game 2, your boy Playoff P and Montrez was having some real beef.
First of all, it's Panic P, okay? Panic
You
P.
know, so I think
Pandemic P.
Okay. PPP. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I think again, it just seems like, you know, Paul George has shown his true colors, man. This is now the third spot that he's kind of run amok, especially with his teammates, because the quote that was used that Montrezl Harrell said is, "I know you're always right. We can't say nothing to you." That's very telling. Very telling. In the game 2 today, you know, they go up 3-1 and y'all having little squabbles like that. If you haven't shown up at all. So I don't know, people. I just know there's going to be a lot of bombs set off in Western Conference front offices for the rest of the winter. I know it's going to I know it's going to be one in Philly. So we're about to see a lot of switching up real soon.
Yo, listen, it's very interesting. Now, should the Chris, are you still there? Okay, hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Now he's not there. Chris.
Yeah, I am here.
Okay, now I had
to put me on mute.
Yes, because it was mad wind, man. Where you at, man? You in the Sandy Shores.
You know what I mean? I had to go turn off the fan because I had to turn off the fan.
Okay, all right, my bad. Larry Love is killing PG. He said PG 13%.
Well, here's the thing, and I've said this in a previous podcast. The reason why is because people started putting Paul George in a category that he really didn't deserve to be in.
Yes, you did say that.
I said this. What, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
I said, y'all started looking at him like he was an elite player. And he's never been that. You go down the record books in the NBA, there's a ton of multi-all-star game appearances players, but they ain't elite. There's a difference. There's a real difference in Paul George, or George Paul, as Skip Bayless would call him when he playing like this. Shows us what he is really made of. I mean, listen, everything about Paul George, everything that you know about him being a quote-unquote elite player comes from 2013 and 2014 when he was with an Indiana Pacers team that, for the East, because, they were in the East, for the East was the only thing that was taking Miami 7 games at that time. But what people kind of gloss over is that that team had a defense built to give LeBron problems. They have Roy Hibbert in the middle, and it's always been hard for LeBron to have to deal with a real center because there's just so few of them in the NBA nowadays. That's always been a problem. And Roy Hibbert wasn't completely trash at that point in his career. You had a still in his prime David West, a real power forward that was a grown man that could put a real body on LeBron. And you had Lance Stevenson running around blowing kisses. Okay? So, and then you had a young, inexperienced, playing totally free Paul George. Right. And those 2 seasons is what branded him elite because he took Miami to 7. Ever since then, he has not shown he's not won a playoff series ever since then. As a matter of fact, he didn't win those 2. But I'm just saying, ever since those points, he has not shown that he could be a player that could bring you to the next level.
Hey, Chris, you know what else solidifies your point about playoff P? Is that every time that we look at a series, a playoff series, with the exception of the one that was, 7 games in Miami, right? Every time that he's involved in a playoff loss, he miraculously is hurt or had been battling through injury.
That's true.
Elite players don't operate like that. So this is what you have seen now in OKC, and now this is what you are seeing with the Clippers. Because I guarantee you, reports are going to come out that his shoulder was not 100% as he said it was before he entered the bubble.
Right.
Also, real quick, Pooh said, and they had a hobbled Danny Granger.
Yeah.
Yo, well, Danny Granger was on the 2013 team. He wasn't on the 2014. But if you even go back to the 2013, you got to remember, well, even if you go back a little bit before that, Danny Granger was supposed to be the star of the Pacers. And then he got hurt. And then his career, he never actually bounced back from that. But Danny was supposed to be the star of the Pacers back then. Paul George was an afterthought. He was just a nice little complimentary dude coming off the bench. Now, granted, he's seen his moment and he seized it. And you can't knock him for that. And he became a perennial all-star after his gruesome leg injury. You can't knock him for that.
Right.
But he hasn't been a winner since he's gotten to that point. And I mean, if you want to dissect those series, I mean, he got there off of beating the Knicks, the Hawks, and the Wizards. That's how he got to the Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron. So,
Listen, and one of the other things that you have to shine a light on with playoff P, and I know we're giving them a hard time, but listen, facts is facts. And Dane called it. You can't run from the grind. If you look at his playoff series in OKC in Utah, he was slated to defend Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell went off in that damn series, right? Yep. We seen it last year when he was again supposed to lock up Dame. I'll wave at you and see you tomorrow. So even what he's been touted to be known for hasn't shown up in the playoffs.
Yep.
So how can you be playoff P?
He's just not elite. So that's the first problem that the Clippers got, is that their Robin is not elite. It's not he's a Robin for sure, but he's not the high tier Robin that everybody thinks he is. Now to get to the even bigger problem is Kawhi. Okay? Because what I've been having to hear when Kawhi was, supposedly about to go on this historic run and be, win MVP for 3 different teams. I already had people talking about he a top 5 player all time. I said, yo, even if he did it, you need to pump the brakes. Because the first chip he got and he got MVP for, he shouldn't have even got it for them. I hate when people, just like I hate that Andre Iguodala got an MVP. You got an MVP for quote unquote slowing down LeBron. He still averaged 30. That's why you got the MVP, because he didn't average 45. So that's why he got the first one on the team. He didn't even lead the series in scoring on his team. I think it was Tony Parker. And that was on a team with a veteran Tony Parker, a Manu Ginobili, and a Tim Duncan. And they gave him the MVP because he did a good job. Now, listen, last year was what it was. I'm not knocking. I won't knock the championship last year, even though we all know he didn't go against a fully healthy Warriors. He didn't even go through a half healthy Warriors. And the East is the East. Ain't nobody ever sweating Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. You do got to pay some respects to Jimmy Butler. That's the only reason why Philly was in that series.
The Django Jimmy.
Django Jimmy, yes sir. And then listen, and people already starting to put that undue praise on Giannis, and Giannis is proving that he's good to a point.
Dang.
And that's what, and I'm just being for real because we already got the sample size on Giannis. Matter of fact, not even the sample size. The book is out on Giannis. Just make him shoot a jumper. Just reduce him to that. Reduce him to that. LeBron had to go through that, and we saw LeBron elevate. And I hate that I even got to give LeBron this much praise right now. But we saw LeBron have to go through that.
I love it.
We saw Pop said we not gonna let him just drive on us all game. Shoot. And LeBron had to take the step. I haven't seen the progress. I know that he tries, but I just haven't seen the progress that Giannis is gonna be a reliable mid-range three-point shooter. Haven't seen it. And that's what he had to deal with last year.
And so I agree with you on that, Chris. I definitely agree with you on that. I think that now we are in a time where I think people give, I don't know, it's weird because people give passes too early, but then they also demonize people too early as well. Like people said, does this tarnish Kawhi Leonard's record? You know what I mean? I mean, legacy. I'm sorry. Does it tarnish his legacy? Losing, being down 3-1 and losing, yada, yada, yada. And I said, no, not really for me, because if he wins a championship within the next 3 years, I think the narrative on this would be, well, look at what he had to persevere to get to where he's at now.
Persevere? What did he have to persevere in LA?
Listen,
with an embarrassment of riches. You had the deepest bench in the NBA. You had literally two players on your team competing for $6 million of the year, averaging 18 plus points. And Lemon Pepper Lou and Montrezl Harrell. You had that on the bench.
Give me those lemon pepper.
Right. Y'all so-called the best two-way wing defender since Jordan and Pippen. You got an NBA champion. You got an NBA champion head coach. You got an NBA champion assistant coach. And supposedly you got the meanest dog in the game in Pat Bev, who again tricking y'all. So no. This is a mark on his legacy, fam. It's just like Steph losing that 3-1 lead to LeBron is a mark on his. This is a mark on Kawhi Leonard legacy, fam. You know what? At this matter of fact, just like LeBron losing to the Mavs that first year of the Heat is a mark on him. Nah, fam, you ain't running from this, Kawhi.
Yeah, but some people are like trying to throw him out with the bat.
You can't run from the grind, man.
Thank you.
You ain't listening, Dame?
I agree. Dame,
you can put them Timbs on the beach, but it ain't gonna look right.
Yo, Dame and CJ is just acting up, and
as they should. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. That's you there, Pat Bev.
Listen, I love it, man. I love it because again, when people say, well, home court advantage, listen, it don't matter what court you play on. If you're gonna be a baller, you're gonna be a baller, and that's that. And I just feel that in the bubble, nobody was at an advantage. It was even. You know what I mean? Even. So when I hear people say, well, they wasn't at home, well, that's life. But when you grow up playing basketball, you grow up playing in the Farnham, you grow up playing in a neutral site, your team just happen to get the ball first or what have you. It don't matter. When you play, you play. And these guys get paid to play. You know what I mean?
So, if you need home court advantage to show how good you really are, then maybe you're not as good as we think you are.
You're not that good.
You're not as good as we thought you were because playing at a neutral site is what it's. I don't mean to bring it to betting like I always do, but the reason lines come out, like for instance, if a football team is playing another football team and the home team is only up by 3, that's solely because of home field advantage. If you got a 3-point If you -3 in a football game and you the home team, they literally saying if it was at a neutral site, it could go either way. It's a coin flip.
Right.
So how good are you really? How good are you really? Because in the bubble, it's a whole neutral site. No fans booing you on the road and no fans cheering you at home. This is just you and another man hooping.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You know that, and that's what I feel. But again, I love how people trying to write. I mean, you really have people who saying, "Oh, now LeBron got it easy." I said, "Listen, LeBron and the Lakers won nothing. This is like they still have to go through the Nuggets. They still got to go through a team that says, "Listen, we believe."
What's Anthony Love Jones talking about?
He said,
"Elaborate."
Okay, he said, "I disagree. It's not because Steph did it in the finals."
I don't know what he's talking about.
He's talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about.
He's talking about the legacy part. He was talking about the legacy part, saying that.
Oh no, listen. Oh no, it's still it's a mark on Steph because Steph lost the 3-1 lead. It's still a mark on Kawhi. Because matter of fact, I can make the argument at least Steph got to the finals after being down 3-1.
Right.
And then on top of that, he lost to LeBron and Kyrie putting on the best two-man performance we've probably ever seen. You lost to, listen, and I don't mean to not the Joker, but you lost to the Joker. You lost to 57-year-old Paul Millsap. You lost to 22-year-old Jamal Murray. I mean, this is even worse. You lost to a young team that's supposed to not even be ready. Not LeBron, who's arguably one of the best of all time, and Kyrie, who could cook with the best of them. No. Most people didn't even know Jamal Murray was this good.
Nah.
Joker, I watched DeMarcus Cousins on a bad leg abuse Joker last year. I saw that with my own eyes. And y'all let these two dudes, and a 57-year-old Paul Millsap, and Al Jarreau's baby cousin Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, Chris.
Y'all let these dudes 3-1 come and dunk on your ass. Oh nah, fam, Kawhi. You got Kawhi, come on to the front of the altar. Come on, me, you and God need to have a conversation. Come on down to the front of the altar. Nah, fam, that's a mark. That's a mark.
What's up, Uncle Wild? What's up? He said, "Good job, fellas." Listen, man. I love.
But there was something else. There was something else that I really wanted to talk about with that, right? Because I saw people making a lot of comments and saying, like, this is Doc and all that stuff. Listen, Doc, and this is what people got to understand. Before Kawhi and Paul George got there, please remember the job that Doc Rivers did with just salvaging what the Clippers were after Blake and CP3 leave and DeAndre, right?
Yep.
He made that system work with this team, but again, here it is. And I know we keep going back to Paul, right? But outside of Kawhi, because I think Kawhi now has proven, even with this stain on his record, that you can still you can pencil him into that elite class, right?
Yep.
But the Robin to the Batman never showed up. And it's not even just that it wasn't Robin. It wasn't Nightwing. It wasn't Young Robin. It wasn't none of that. And here it is again. This is why Chris had made the point, and this is why we all agree on it. You can't make the case for Paul George because at almost every level, he's had on board or better talent than he was at some point.
Yeah.
With him. And he did nothing at any of those stops. So you making all this clamor for you to get home, and you did whatever you did in OKC to say, all right, I gotta go, right? To get here and do this. And here's the thing. Why he can't run from the grind. The Denver series is not an anomaly. The game last night is not an anomaly. Remember, Paul George, game one of the playoff series, he was struggling. Game 2, struggling. Had a decent game 3, but went back to the same thing. The only thing that masked the numbers was the fact that they were winning.
Yo, Ruck though, Ruck, let me add to that. He was struggling against Dallas.
Yes.
Yo, Luka was cooking them. And
Yes,
you can make the argument if Kristaps didn't get thrown out in the first game for that bullshit technical and didn't get hurt in the rest of the series, maybe they would have won 7 with Dallas too. Maybe Dallas would have won. I don't know. But I know Luka was cooking them.
And I'll tell you this, Chris. Luka pulls that out if they go game 7 with them. He pulls that out.
No doubt.
I don't have no question with that. But again, this is going to turn into, sadly enough, you know what the Clippers missed in this series that they didn't have, that they sorely missed? A point guard.
Oh yeah.
So say what you will, but this is why you had Chris Paul. That very moment and what they did is why you had Chris Paul. And I can prove that because that's how we got the game 7 against Houston.
Right.
So again, because you got to look at it. And even with the Lakers, the reason that the Lakers, and I agree with what Chris said earlier, that it's not like they're going to have an easy time. But I tell you why they'll be ready for these moments, because Rondo's back and they have a real point guard, a real playmaker.
Hold on. The only real person that got playoff in front of their name is playoff Rondo. Okay? That's the only real playoff person I know.
Ready Rondo. So now, with that being said, fellas, are the Lakers the favorite to win?
Now? Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%. Don't mean they will, though. That's why everybody's saying it's easy. Let me tell you something.
Thank you, Chris.
They should win. Lakers should win. I won't sugarcoat that. They should win. Denver has proven to me, though, that they are hard out.
Yes,
no matter which way this series go. Nuggets is going to be a hard out. And let me tell you something. Them 2 young gunners over in the East, the Lakers should be either one of them. But I'm telling you, no matter which one they see, it's going to give them problems.
Yes.
It's going to give them problems.
I'll take it another step. With everything that Chris said, I'll tell you this. If the Lakers don't think that Joker is for real, he's going to show you something different against Anthony Davis. He's going to test him, right? If people on the Lakers bench are not paying attention to what Michael Porter Jr. is doing, right? To what's the other young boy, Chris, that was from Michigan State that they just got back?
Oh, Jeremy Grant?
No, not Jeremy Grant.
Gary Harris.
Gary Harris. Listen, the Nuggets over the last 3 seasons in the NBA, and I'll debate this with anybody, have had the deepest bench in the league and the most talent on the bench. And understand, too, even with Paul Millsap being 57, he's still putting work. Understand that you're still missing another bucket, another scorer, and Will Barton right now, right?
Yeah.
There are things, the Nuggets pose problems, but just switching lanes really quickly, even saying that the Lakers get past them, if they sleep on either the Celtics or that Miami Heat team, let me tell you something, man. Jimmy got everything that he wanted when he went to Miami.
Yes,
everything that he wanted. And when I tell you he got a squad of dogs just like him.
No. Yo, bro, you are so right. But it's one person in them dogs that I gotta take out of that dog, and he's just a killer. Tyler Hero is got some of the, and I mean this with no homo attached to it. He got the biggest balls in Miami right now. That boy ain't afraid of absolutely nothing.
Tony Montana. Tyler
Hero took that shot down 6, 50 seconds left. Kemba draped on him. I'm taking it contested. I don't care. I don't care. Money. He did it time after time against the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm telling you, that young man, Tyler Hero, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
know that you're my hero.
Shout out to his girl too, because I don't know if you seen her, but she's a winner.
I'm sure that we will after the podcast. Thank you.
Listen,
Henny Bub showed me her on IG yesterday. I said, Lord, he hitting winning buckets on and off the court. Let's go, Tyler. Let's go, Tyler.
now you know what? Like, you know, but when people asked me a while ago, I said, I'm gonna tell you it's two teams. And again, I'm no Negro Diamonds, but when people ask me, they say, yo, who you? I said, I'm telling y'all need to watch out for that Utah and that Denver team. I said, because those two teams right there, they're going to give people fits. Now, again, did I think that they were going to give a team like the Clippers a fit being down 3-1? No. But I knew whoever they faced was going to have some problems. So that's why, for me, it was gratifying to know, like, yo, listen, when people keep talking about LeBron in the East, remember when LeBron was in the East and they kept saying that the East is weak and, you know, so many excuses. So then he goes to the West and continues his dominant legacy hold
on. No, he didn't continue it. Let's slow down. See, now you're getting a little bit out of order now.
Okay.
Because he didn't make it nowhere last year. Let's stop it.
Chris, he was hurt.
Stop it.
Chris, he was.
Oh, now
he was hurt. He was hurt, and they was already still in the bottom of even making the playoffs. So let's stop. Let's stop that right now.
Okay, see, you talking about last year. I'm talking about this year.
No, because you said continue to dominate. I don't want to hear that shit. Listen, see, you give you a little inch with LeBron, and you take a mile.
That's what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna finish my statement, okay? What I'm saying is, people keep talking about LeBron in the East. LeBron leaves the East, goes to the West, and look where he's at right now. So you can take it as how you want to take it, whatever you want to say, but you got to give credit to what credit's due. But now people are saying that the West doesn't mean nothing no more because Kawhi and them got booted out. Come on,
stop. That's not true. That's just not true.
Listen. I'm talking about all the liars, Chris. That's what I'm talking about. Not everybody. I'm talking about all the liars and all the haters.
The West, as far as I'm concerned, is the NFC. Okay, it's a murderer's row out there. Anybody can get it in the West. I think what people got used to, or let me not say used to, what jaded everybody was the Warriors, because the Warriors, even in that murderer's row, killed everybody.
Yes.
They just killed everybody.
They were like the Seahawks, man. Remember the Seahawks came through and they were just smashed.
No. They was better than the Seahawks. They were the Patriots in the AFC East. They just murdered everybody. They have to worry about a damn thing. They just killed everybody. But that's not normal.
Right.
That's not normal. Not in the West. The West is where it's won to me. And listen, LeBron got adjusted to different kind of basketball when he got there last year. They reloaded, they regrouped, and he came back this year. But before we get off the subject, I need to make these two statements. Number one, fuck Patrick Beverley. Number two, and much more importantly, this was the year for everybody in the West. This was for the Clippers and the Lakers. This was the year for your clear-cut path to it. Because next year in the West, and I need to make this very, very clear.
We're Golden State.
Any and everybody in the West can get it next year. Because it's going to be the Lakers. It's going to be the Clippers. I'm telling you right now, Mark Cuban is getting somebody else to come to Dallas. And Dallas was already competing this year. Dallas is going to be in the running. We know what Denver is. Denver is going to be in the running. Oh, yeah, in case you forgot, the Warriors is adding. I don't know who they adding. I don't know what they adding. But with that number 2 overall pick and all them other picks that they acquired, they either bringing in Wiseman or Anthony or one of them dudes, or they traded that away and bringing in somebody big. Warriors going to be in play next year. There's going to be 5 to 6 legit teams in the West that can all lay claim to be trying to win the chip.
This is the time, going back to what Christian said, this is the time if you was a Western Conference team and you were a contender, right? For, say, Lakers, the Clippers, Houston. This was your opportunity to get one and have one. Because, like Chris just said, not only what's going to happen next year, and we're not even just talking with the draft, because now you got to understand that teams are now going back to that whole dynamic duo thing was very short lived.
Yep.
Teams are trying to go back to the big three once again. And I tell you this, mess around and let Golden State or Portland pull off a move that brings them somebody like a Giannis, like a Ben Simmons, or even, dare I say, bring Joel to the West. Watch your neck.
Let me tell you, I think people forgetting that next year, the Warriors is running out just without any trades, without even talking about their draft pick. They're running Steph, Dre, Clay, Wiggins, and somebody. That's what. Listen, Andrew Wiggins as a number 1, don't like him. Andrew Wiggins as a number 2, don't like him. Andrew Wiggins as a number 3 or number 4, oh, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a real problem.
A real problem. Especially, and again, which you have to consider too, that I think showed a lot in the bubble, and it definitely did for Denver. Style of play matters.
Yes, sir.
Style of play matters. So when you get to pushing the rock and you have different pieces, I'm telling you, if you think even I don't care what Giannis said after that loss, right? If you think even with COVID that the Hampton Five ain't gonna pop up at a March in Kenosha and then swing over to Milwaukee, bruh. Even I put it to you like this: let it be something that Houston blows the whole thing up again and they give up on Russ, right? Let that happen. And let Russ make it to one. Could you imagine now, Chris? This is where I would love to have it, right? Could you imagine?
Let me hear it.
Russell Westbrook in Miami?
I mean, we thought last year, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say last year they thought that was a real possibility, and
Jimmy wanted that.
He might get it.
You know what? That could be crucial.
Like that.
Or you know what? Giannis has made it very clear though. He made it very clear that if they're not going to spend the money to bring somebody there, he does want to leave. He said, I want to be here, but he's like, I want to see the commitment. So I don't know. Maybe Russell Westbrook makes his way down to Milwaukee. I don't know.
Listen, my thing is this. I don't care what you say in how trash, Rondo brother was trying to get at Russ. You looking down the barrel of him and Giannis coming down the lane.
Could be something.
Bruh.
Could be something.
You looking at people, listen, like Chris said, Andrew Wiggins as a 3 or 4, people are gonna understand the pure athleticism that Wiggins possesses next year.
Yep.
Good.
When they see what that lane looks like with shooters, and it's just him, bro, it's going to be some different things.
Yo, him and Steph only played one game together last year. Only played one game against the New Orleans Pelicans, and it was just him, Draymond, and Wiggins, and then the rest of those. Oh, I forgot. Warriors got a rookie that made first team all rookie, and Eric Pascal. Don't sleep on him. He a nice young brother.
Yeah.
Eric Pascal, Jordan Poole. It goes down the line. They got some killers that they have been working on. And even I tell you this, the pickup of Marquise Childs was big.
You talking about Marquise
Chris. Excuse me, Marquise Chris was big.
Again, they put themselves in position. I think they realized once Steph got hurt, you know what? Let's just watch this and let's start. That's why they got rid of all the oldies. They got rid of all of them. He's like, we need to get a bench that's younger, that could come up. And then they traded D'Angelo. They got Wiggins. And now, literally, if they picked up Wiseman in the draft, how you feeling about that 5?
I love that.
Well, listen,
And I'm still not, and I still wouldn't even think that they was the prohibitive favorite. But it's just that's something else you got to contend with in the West.
listen.
Don't be real.
When you were asking about Giannis, and I believe
he said Russ, but
Russ,
Hambone
he said
Hambone
it's easy
wrong
to
about that.
just play zone.
Hambone wrong about that, and I'm surprised that Hambone said that because he actually knows basketball. No, it ain't. The only reason that the zone worked against Giannis this year is that he had bought into what the critics were saying and was attempting to shoot all those threes. That's the only reason it worked. You mean to tell me that in a zone with somebody that's 7 feet with his wingspan, that him at the foul line won't work? And Milwaukee has shooters. Come on now, stop it, Hambone. You better than that. You better than that.
Wow, I will say this. The way I'm looking at Miami right now, and this is a shout out to my brother because I seen him say no. I don't know if I would like Russell Westbrook in Miami with the way that their shooters are. You already got kind of two non-shooters, even though he hit big shots all the time, in Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. You don't need another non-shooter. You might not want another non-shooter down there.
No. It's not even the fact that it's a non-shooter, but I think what he would add is what they are, because the one thing that Miami does well is they have a lot of utility players that can get buckets when they need to, but their calling card is toughness and defense, and he fits right into that mystique. And the fact that they can just get out and run, because Jimmy Butler, what people are not even giving him credit for, he's a superstar. He's become a superstar in the league without needing the ball.
That is very true. But Miami also in the playoffs is the highest 3-point percentage shooting percentage team in the playoffs right now. You add Russ to that, and we saw what it looked like in Houston. So I can understand the hesitation of not wanting Russ down there when you got the Dragon hitting three. You got what's the Douglas Robinson, something Robinson. You know what I'm talking about, the white dude. You got him shooting threes. You got Tyler Hero shooting threes. You got Crowder shooting threes. Duncan Robinson. There you go, Duncan Robinson. Like, they got a lot of people coming off, and they already do got people like they put in Iggy and Derrick Jones when they want to get their defense tight. Like, you know what I mean? So I can understand that it could. I'm not saying that it wouldn't work putting Russ down there. I can understand, though, the trepidation of maybe being like, well, I don't know if I want to add him to the mix. But, you know, all getting still, Russ is an all-star caliber player. Would be the number 2 immediately on that team. Not maybe even the number 1.
Yeah. Well, so much. Still now, I would like to go to the NFL. Week 1 recap. Fellas.
You sure you want to do that?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, sure?
Why wouldn't? Oh my God! You know, we got Packers fan in the house. Listen, it's week 1. You know, we got a lot of stuff to fix in the Niners nation, but we'll get it.
I don't know, man. They said he was watching Pornhub at halftime.
I don't give a damn what he was watching, but he gonna get it together because we got the
porn star Jimmy.
Yeah, man. He got the Jets, the Giants.
Those are 2 bounce back games. Those are 2 bounce back games.
We got the Jets, Giants, Eagles, Dolphins. So he better get his shit together. And also Mohamed Sanu. I don't know how I feel about that signing.
I love that signing. I would love to talk about that too.
Sure. I mean, we could talk about it, but just in general, how y'all like watching it. I know some people were talking about not having a crowd. I personally enjoy the crowd noise because when you're watching the game, you don't really get to see the crowd anyway. I mean, it was an obvious difference because usually when there's crowd, like you can just feel it, but you didn't have that. But we still have football. What are you going to do? How you guys liking the week 1 so far and what the NFL finally did?
I thought it was great, man. What I mostly got from it is Lamar Jackson is real. Aaron Rodgers is real, and Russell Wilson is real. Those 3 quarterbacks and Patty Mahomes on Thursday separated themselves from everybody else in the league. Drew Brees didn't look that great. Tom Brady looked like the over-the-hill guy I thought he was.
I know you love that.
I did. I loved it very much. Jimmy G showed that he could lose games overthrowing and he can lose games underthrowing. Like, as I looked through the spectrum of quarterbacks just throughout the NFL, that's what I saw. And I saw those 4 quarterbacks be a cut above the rest of the quarterbacks. So, and I also want to say, shout out to Cam, because I told y'all, it's going to be different with Cam.
Wait, Chris. How that song go again? Cam.
Oh, Cam. Listen, I saw Cam and I said, see, AFC East. Now listen, he got to play Seattle Sunday. That's going to be an L. But I said, yo, in that AFC East,
he got a lot to
man,
prove.
they still got it. They still got this. Patriots still got this. It's the AFC East, people. It's Buffalo, it's Miami, and it's the Jets. There ain't nothing to worry about.
Speaking of having it, we have a guest, man. We got to get my man on the line, man, the mad scientist, Nick, the killer. Picarelli, what's going on, man?
He can't wipe the smile off his face.
Look at him.
I'm relishing this moment. I really am, because I can actually say to Chris in person, I was right all along. And there ain't a damn thing that anybody can do about it. Although I did say November.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, look, am I going to argue that I get to see Ohio State in October when I watched all of those dreadful teams, college teams play last Saturday? I am absolutely not. And finally, I gotta wait a little longer, but I get to see some real college football very, very soon. So I am happy in that respect.
Well, I gotta say, the backlash that the Big Ten has pretty much weighed down the presidents of the school. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, when you have the voices of parents, the voices of your coaches, especially Ryan Day from Ohio State, who poignantly last week put up on his Instagram, I believe, one sentence in this big paragraph that he wrote that pretty much said, these teams are playing. Why aren't we? And when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is bad. This is going to be really bad. And then it gets even worse when the president of the United States pretty much tells the Big Ten, play football. And I'm sitting there like, wow, even he is getting involved. This isn't good at all for Kevin Warren and the presidents of the Big Ten schools. And then there was the lawsuit by the Nebraska students who pretty much were going to force the hand of the Big Ten. Now, a lot of people were saying that this is probably going to be dismissed, but I was like, that's not the point of it. The point is it's now being brought into the court system. And it's out there for everyone to see. And when I believe it was the Nebraska president on a hot mic said, oh, we're having a season. Oh, we're definitely having a season.
That was 2 days ago, yeah.
That was, to me, like the icing on the cake. They couldn't go back. They could not go back anymore. There was just no way. And when the announcement was made, October 24th, there will be Big Ten football. I just sat back. I popped open a Kona Brewing Company pale ale, raised the bottle, and said, thank you, and you're welcome.
I mean, let's be real, right? It's only one team in that division that everybody wants to see, and everybody knows that's going to win.
OH.
If I'm Michigan, I would have said no. This is the only time we don't have to worry about getting our ass handed to us since World War II. We can actually take a year off of losing and we can relax. And Wisconsin, sorry, Nick, same with them. They can be like, hey, man, we don't have to worry about going to the Big Ten championship and squandering this once again. Let's take a year off. But no, everybody want to add insult to injury. And I ain't gonna lie, I do want to see Ohio State. But I do want to see what running back Wisconsin is going to put out again. That's going to have 4,000 rushing yards, only to go to the NFL and get 2. So it's only team.
Hey, well, hold on, Quet. Just to piggyback on when you were talking about that team from up north, when you think about it, if you think about the last 4 coaches that we had, and that would be obviously Jim Tressel, and obviously Urban Meyer, Luke Fickell, and Ryan Day. Michigan has only beat one of those coaches one time too. And all those 4 coaches, they only got 1 win. I think you can guess which coach that 1 win came against. It was Luke Fickell. So I'm happy, and I'm always happy to allow that team from up north to get an ass whooping, because this year they got to come to the shoe. So I'm always happy. I'm glad Ohio State is back, but I will say this: there was a lot of pressure on Kevin Warren in the Big Ten to reconsider their position, or at least come out with the numbers or statistics that they had for the reasoning of canceling this season, or postponing it, I should say. And magically, all of a sudden, now they got new testing. They got new rapid 24-hour testing.
Yep.
I don't know. It just popped up out of nowhere that there's now 24-hour testing, and now they're going to do what's that? Virus tracing or tracking or whatever, and they're going to know everything now. So now it's not a problem. Okay.
Well, let's be fair. I think that the Big Ten, like a lot of teams, and like a lot of organization, they jumped the gun because they didn't want to get sued, right? They didn't know what was going on. So they wanted to get ahead of this and say, hey, we're just going to cancel it. And if we find out good results, then we'll come back. I think that that's pretty much why they really probably canceled and say,
I agree.
Back. You know what I mean? So, and then, like you said, having a new commissioner, he didn't want to be that guy. He didn't want to be the guy that said, no, we're going to play football. We don't care about your well-being. He wanted to say well-being first, and then we'll deal with the rest later. So,
he didn't want to be that guy, but he kind of became that guy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. It was like, you know what? The Big Ten, because I remember, and Nick, you could correct me if I'm wrong, because you are the Big Ten expert, and so are you, Chris. They were getting all the praises. Big Ten, oh, man, they stepping ahead of everybody. Man, touche. The SEC was like, man, yeah, right, man, y'all shut up. ACC, like, man, they suckers. And it was like, oh, yeah, man, what the Big Ten do?
The Big Ten.
Quick clarification. Nick is the Big Ten expert. I am an Ohio State expert. Okay. This is a minor. You go ahead, Nick.
I'm sorry.
The Big Ten thought that if they led the pack, everybody would follow. The Big Ten's arrogance is that, since they have like the top academic schools and the top academic presidents, and that everybody pretty much follows them wherever they go, if they say no, everybody else would follow. Pac-12 was so quick to follow; it wasn't even funny because the Pac-12 really doesn't count in my opinion. But
they don't have no teams anyways.
But when the SEC said they were going to play, we knew that was going to be a no-brainer. The ACC they were going to play, I was like, oh, okay. The Big 12 said they're going to play. I'm like, interesting.
Still down
and
some.
Then the kicker to me, honestly, was Notre Dame. Notre Dame, when they said we're going to play and we're going to be playing the ACC this year, I sat back and I was like, oh, really now? And I think that's when Kevin Warren and, well, I wouldn't say Kevin Warren, the athletic directors and the coaches of the Big Ten were like, whoa, wait a minute. That wasn't supposed. See what had happened here was a failure to communicate. And everybody, all of a sudden, the Big Ten, for all their pomp and circumstance, ended up with a lot of egg on their face.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing that happened out of all this was the August 11th press conference where Kevin Warren pretty much was talking out of his behind. And it's scary that nobody really came out and supported what he was saying from the presidential aspect. They were like, you know what? We're just going to be like Homer Simpson and step back into the bushes and like disappear like this, as I'm doing right now. While Kevin Warren was like pretty much the face of what was going on in the Big Ten. And, you know, for literally a month, it was like a month of, you know, piling on everything that was happening. And you can never get like a solid answer from anybody on what was going on. Even the announcement about October 24th, there were some hiccups and stuff like that amongst the hierarchy of the Big Ten with the hot mics and the non-responses. And, you know, Nebraska was saying this, but Wisconsin was saying that, and Penn State and Ohio State's coaches were out like this, but this guy was saying another thing, and nobody was ever in lockstep. And that was the worst part of it. Now, before I said, you know, the Pac-12, you know, they don't count. Larry Smith, the Pac-12 commissioner, was like, it's going to be very tough for us to do anything because, because of what's been going on in California, and, you know, California's in lockdown, blah, blah, blah. Governor Gavin Newsom today pretty much clapped back at him and going, hey, idiot, I never said that. We said we would work with you in making sure we can get the season off the ground if you decide to have one in the fall. I never said that football is canceled. You were the one that said that football was canceled. You know, it's just exasperated right now with the fires that have been going on in California, Oregon, and Washington.
That's true, yeah.
That I have to say, you know, I do have to say, I really don't think the Pac-12 is going to have a football season in the fall.
No, I don't think so either.
They're going to have their football season either in the winter.
Just cancel it.
I don't think it's going to be canceled for the fall, but I think what they may end up doing is playing in January and February.
At that
point, another thing with the Big Ten actually saying that their season is going to begin on October 24th, you see a lot of players that are trying to walk back their opt-outs.
Yep.
And speaking of that team up north, you know what I found so apropos today? Dylan McCaffrey, who was one of the leading player voices in saying that we want to play. His father, former NFL player Ed McCaffrey, went to the parent protests, you know, outside of Big Ten headquarters, decided to opt out today. And I just sat there and I was like, wait, what? Huh? And there's a rumor going on that the reason why he opted out is because he lost his starting spot, in which I was like, wow. How apropos that one of the leading voices, because he's not going to get his way, goes bye-bye.
Crybaby.
Sounds like a team from up north kind of player to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, real quick, man, like I said, thanks for providing us and, come back on and give us your Big Ten stuff. Can't wait. Real quick, NFL, how you liking your Vikings, man?
Oh, God.
Ruck, you don't got nothing to say, Ruck?
You know, I get Aaron Rodgers, whoever said, and I never wait.
You like that.
Before anybody says anything, I never spat on or crapped on Aaron Rodgers. I always crap on Green Bay because I thought their front office pretty much dropped the ball from the draft all the way through free agency. Aaron Rodgers played with a chip on his shoulder and made our defense look like Swiss cheese. Now, I'm not going to make any excuses. We got beat. We got beat by the better team. Everybody's like, well, Cousins had a good game. Garbage It was garbage. It was garbage in the second half, and we were down big. I mean, the score again deceiving. The stats again deceiving. And I have to lay. If there's one person that I need to lay the loss at, and I will say this until my dying day, is Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer is a good coordinator. He is not a good head coach. Again, the record deceiving. How many times do I have to say the same thing until I'm blue in the face? The guy is not a good in-game coach. He never makes the right adjustments. He waits until it's way damn too late. We've seen it time and time again. And until such time, we'll be a playoff team. We ain't going to go nowhere. We ain't going no Super Bowl. We ain't going no NFC Championship game. I mean, the one year we did go to the NFC Championship game, we got our butts kicked. Last year, we played San Francisco. Pretty much laid out the game plan for the guy. Deviated right off the bat, and we got our butts kicked. It's almost like, like that Geico commercial that with the fishing rod. Oh, you almost got it. You almost got it. You almost got it type of deal. And watching that game, I had a scowl. I was cursing. I'm a football fan, but as a journalist or a radio guy or a podcaster, I always take the hat off, the fandom hat off. And there comes a time that you got to lay the blame. You got to lay the blame somewhere. The talent's there. Got to be it's got to be the coaching. Yeah. It really does. It's like Doc Rivers, who can't win a playoff series for the life of him. I saw you guys discussing that earlier.
Yeah.
And look at Doc Rivers' playoffs from 2005 until now. How many times has his team blown a 2-0, 3-1, or 3-2 lead? And how many times has his team failed to close something out?
Wow.
The same thing can be said for Mike Zimmer. How many times has his teams failed to close something out when one last thing, and then I'm going to go about Mike Zimmer. I mean, I didn't want to jump off like that, but
poor Mike.
No, the miracle in Minneapolis. Everybody blames. The Vikings. We should have never been in that position. But when you're playing an explosive offense like the New Orleans Saints, you're not supposed to take the foot off the gas. Guess what? Not only was the foot taken off the gas, the emergency brake was turned on. He switched coverages into a prevent defense for pretty much the whole second half. And we wouldn't have had the Minneapolis Miracle if it wasn't for the Vikings getting their butts handed to them in the second half of that game. Think about that for a second.
Right. Nah, you're right. You're right.
So, anyway, gents, as always, a pleasure.
Yeah.
I will be back hopefully soon.
Yes, sir.
And I know October 25th, 26th, whenever is the next podcast, we will definitely talk some Big Ten football.
Yes.
Oh, yes, we will.
That was Nick, who's a Viking and a Mets fan. So every week he is having a heart attack. We appreciate
we should talk about the things we have in common, like the Mets more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we can actually have,
I'm a long suffering.
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm a Mets fan.
Speaking of, DeGrom got hurt today.
I know. I see.
DeGrom got hurt. I just sat there with this grin on my face, like.
I thought because the playoffs are starting so quickly and there's more spots this year, and I'm thinking, all right, we just beat Toronto by like 30 in one game, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe we can start to get a run. Nope, we lose every other game in the series after. We beat them. Well, I think the score was 26-9 or whatever it was, and then we literally lose the next 3 games.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing every year. everybody always goes in with hope and optimism, even for a short season, but it's the same thing over and over again. No clutch hitting, leaving the runners on the base, and a bullpen that gives up runs, that gives up hits and runs at the worst possible time. We haven't had a reliable closer since John Franco.
You know what? I agree with that. Never liked Familia. Never liked them.
Well, not only Familia, but before that, Benitez.
Nope, didn't
before
like
that, before that, Wagner.
I mean, all right, I did kind of like Wagner. Don't get me. I did like Wagner a little bit, but
I liked Wagner, but in the big games, came up small. Benitez came up small. Familia came up small. Edwin Diaz is coming up small. Betances was supposed to be the bridge like he was for the Yankees. He comes over to the Mets, and all of a sudden, he becomes as hittable can be. And it's just, I can rail on and on and on about every wrong thing that's happened in the last 35 plus years since the Mets won the World Series in 1986 when I was 14 years old and a freshman in high school. And, the new.
I mean, you're right. You're right. But, the Mets do give you a sprinkle of hope every 10 years. We just magically wind up in the World Series. Now we lose, but we magically wind up in the World Series. It's like, holy shit, where did this come from? We sucked last year. Now all of a sudden we're in the World Series. But since I got you, I would like to talk about our last World Series appearance. And I always like to get other Mets perspective on this. And this is what killed me about when we lost to
Kansas City.
Kansas City. We got the best. We literally at the time the best pitching in baseball. I mean, literally could throw out 5 legit aces. And my question was, what I didn't understand is, why didn't they pull an Arizona Diamondback and just go, we're just running with our fucking aces all day long. That's it. That's who we're running with, and we're just going to smoke them out the building.
Because Terry Collins is the most by-the-book manager that one can have.
Drove me crazy.
It was, when every time he would put in Familia to try to close out the game close, I kept saying to myself, God, please don't. Please don't.
You knew it was coming. Every single time you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
And the worst part about this was we should have swept Kansas City. Instead, we lost in 5.
We lost in 5 and had a chance to win every game. Literally was up with great pitching every game. And then as soon as we went to the bullpen, that's when Kansas City came back. Every single time. And I'm going, dude, you got Thor, you got DeGrom, you got the Dark Knight back when he was still somewhat freaking viable. I'm like, even Matt at the time, just run with those guys. You got a fucking full of aces in the dugout. Listen, everybody, we're just rolling with the aces today. That's it. We're trying to win a World Series. I don't care what else is going on.
I'll give you with the aces. Before I go, I'll give you another one.
Being a Braves fan, good.
Before I go, I'll give you another one. Remember the one game playoff. The Mets. It was the Mets versus the Giants.
I do remember that.
Then it was Syndergaard versus Bumgarner.
Mm-hmm.
2 aces lighting it up, literally.
Yeah.
And as the 7th inning finished, and I saw the pitch count for Syndergaard, I was like, I don't care. Keep him in, because if you go to the bullpen, we'll lose this game.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, he went to the bullpen and he went to Familia, and we lost the game. And Bumgarner, complete game shutout. We lost, I think it was 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 0-0 going into the 8th inning.
I do remember that. I just don't I never understood that. And every time I find out somebody else is a Met fan, I always like to go back to that, because I go, were you thinking the same thing I was thinking during that World Series?
I started thinking that after game 2, when we were, what do you call it? I think we were down 2-0. We won game 3.
Yep.
Game 4, that's when I was thinking, you know what? You know, I think he went. I don't know. It wasn't a 3-man rotation. I know that. I forgot who was pitching game 4, but I was like, you know what? It does happen to be 3 days rest for whoever pitched game 1 during the World Series. I don't remember the rotation, so I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna try to, you know, make up names like that. But I'm saying, you know, say game 4, it was, Harvey pitching. He would go, he would go 7, 8 innings, whatever it was. I was like, DeGrom's available for maybe a couple of innings. Put him in as the closer. And that's that. And then after that, you can go with your game, you can go with whoever your game 2, whoever to go with the game, to go with game 5. I don't care. Start using them short rest. I mean, you have a chance to win the biggest prize in all of baseball, and you end up doing that. You stay by the book. You're like, I'm going to go with my horse that got me 47 saves during the regular season, who, as we saw during the postseason, progressively got worse and shell-shocked and had no confidence by the time the World Series came around. So, anyway, I got to go before I go really.
I appreciate it, Nick.
All right, Nick.
We'll holler at you later.
All right. Take care, man. All right.
Go, Pat, go.
That was Nick, man. That was Nick. Hey, listen, fellas. I gotta go. I really wanted to talk more, but we can talk about it some other time. Sorry to end abruptly like that. But
what do you mean you gotta go?
I gotta go. I got stuff to do.
Oh, hey, Ruck, you know what he about to go do.
Nah, man, I gotta go, man. So listen, thanks again for tuning to another edition of Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. We appreciate everybody who tuned in. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, The Ruck Report. Cheers.
Peace.
Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, The Ruck Report, a.k.a. Jerry.
Ready? This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished.
This is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
X about me.
With Professional Sutton.
You already know.
Chris G.
My homie.
And the Rucker Report.
My family, what up? They for real. All straight with no chaser.
Let the games begin.
Let's go. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.